Hey everybody, good morning. It's Robb. Guys, this video is for anybody who has a balcony and they have a screen that's screened in. This balcony has been fine for years. It was built back in 1975. The screen has been here ever since. However, last year in April, we had a freak weather occurrence, like a rainstorm, 1 in 500 year event, and really flooded everything. And my downstairs neighbor, he said that he was getting water and he wanted to know what was going on because, like, here is the top of the ceiling of my balcony. There's the ceiling, and there's a light. Well, this is the floor, and down below is where he has his light, and water was coming right out of his ceiling. And my tiles were fine, so I racked my brain. I was very proud. I rolled the blinds down and I bought a gutter from the Home Depot, and I put a storage bin over here in the corner, and I let the rain hit the blinds, and then it would go into the gutter, and then it would go over to the bucket and drain out over the edge of the balcony floor. I was very proud of myself. That didn't do anything. Then I put some rubber sealant from Gorilla Glue. They make a rubber patching thing, and I got a little syringe, and I got down on my stomach, and I put a seam of rubber all along next to the frame where the tile was, because there was like a little tiny 1/4 inch gap, and I filled up that gap completely after removing any dust or dirt or pieces of loose grout. And I was very proud of myself once again, and that didn't do anything. So then I made a siphon. You know those hoses that have the rubber bulb you squeeze to get gas out of gas tanks in cars? And I attached it to a bucket, so the hose would be like 1/4 inch or maybe 1/8 inch off of the floor, and I could squeeze the bulb and get a siphon going. And I made it go out this tube right here, and that way if it got a lot of water, and I could just drain off that way. And I was very proud of myself, and that didn't work. So finally, we removed the tiles because there had to be a leak somewhere. But I was worried because for years I lived over on Miami Beach, close to where that building collapsed. And I was worried that maybe my floor was full of cracks and everything, and the building was falling apart. And because I couldn't, the floor is 6 inches thick concrete. Why would there be water leaking when it rained? And it was intermittent. I didn't know what was happening. So when they removed the tiles, I had somebody do it. I could do it maybe, but I wanted somebody that was insured and licensed, and that way if there was a problem, because sometimes things are simple, but until they're not. And he's been doing it for 25 years, so I let somebody else do it. And when they removed the tiles, they found this hole. There's a patch. Right exactly below here is where his ceiling light is, and that's where the leak is. So they're going to come out and remove all of this and inspect for rust and put a new patch in. And my point of this whole video is, if you have a screen on your balcony, you need to take a tool and you need to clean out your floor underneath the frame of your aluminum screen, because it may be 50 years old and it's full of dust and dirt and it made a dam, so water's not getting off and it's backing up any place there is a crack. This could have been solved. Of course, the crack would have not be solved, but who knows if that's going to be a problem anyway. But if you have a balcony with a screen, periodically you should clean your seam underneath the frame and allow water to go out a lot quicker. And don't be a dummy. So I'm not too proud of myself for doing all of this work and not thinking about the obvious of just making sure water was getting out off of the balcony quicker because there's a slope. So now I won't be able to put tile on here. I don't think they want tile on the floor anymore, or rugs that hold water. So I'm going to paint. And I'm looking into different types of paint. And the tile man said this yellow stuff is really old waterproof stuff. So I did some research and found a reference to somebody who had been etching his floor and prior to painting, and they said the old waterproofing stop the ability of the chemicals to hatch, so I won't be able to do that unless I remove everything down to bare concrete. I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to use the 1-part primer paint. Bear has a 1-part epoxy, and because some people use a 2-part epoxy, if they don't do it right, it will get a big mess. And then after the primer goes on, we'll first clean with trisodium phosphate, then scuff it up, and then add the primer, then add the 1-part epoxy, and when it dries, put a plastic mat that looks like a rug on top that doesn't hold water, made out of polyester, and keep my fingers crossed. Right now everything is on my balcony. It's in my house. I look like a hoarder. An organized hoarder. So yeah, that's where we're at. If you have problems with your balcony, or if you don't have problems with your balcony, if you have a screen, you want to use something to get underneath there and clean out. And keep your fingers crossed. Right, guys? Take care. See you out there.